Hello, everyone. You are welcome to today's lesson. Today's lesson is going to be a very short one. Our main objective here is to look at the solution to the assignment that was given in the previous lesson on probability. That was lesson 5. So we are looking at lesson 5 assignment. And lesson 5 assignment, the assignment is exactly what you have on your screen. Okay, we are told that if the probability of A is equal to X, probability of B is equal to 0.35, and probability of A union B is equal to 0.83. Find X if A, okay, the event A and B are mutually exclusive, then B, the event A and B are independent. So I have the solution there. I'm going to walk you through the solution. I went through your work, your submissions, and the major concerns, I will address them here. However, if there are any outstanding concerns, when you watch the video, don't forget to send that via the comment, okay, section, and I will address that. Okay, so quickly, I've told you that anytime a question is given, the first thing that you write is solution because we want the solution from you. So after reading the question, if there are any salient parts, you underline. Otherwise, the first thing that you write is solution. Okay, now after solution, you check whether the information given in the question, if you extract them, it will be very vital. And again, you can see that this information or this information that we are giving here, I should say, very critical. So we extract all of them. So always solution giving. Giving means you extract. Okay, so giving and this one is just copy and paste. So given this P of A is equal to X, and please take note, okay, the comma here is very necessary. So those of you extracted by ignoring the comma and the end here, if for nothing at all, this end here, you can still use comma, but you cannot ignore, and I'm reiterating the point, you cannot just write P of A is equal to X, ignore this and come and write P of B is equal to, no. Even with this one, it's just copy and paste. In English, you write the first item, comma, second, okay, maybe third comma, but between the last and last but one, usually we link that with end. But I said that you can also use comma in maths. Okay, comma can also mean end. Okay, so take note. Then, okay, let's appreciate the question carefully. Okay, if you look at this question, okay, the question here is giving you an information about A union B. And you should also always know that A union B will always involve, okay, usually the general one, it will involve A intersection B. However, whether A intersection B will be 0 or not will depend on what the type of event that you are dealing with, mutually exclusive or not mutually exclusive. Whether A intersection B will be the product will equally be dependent on the type of event, whether dependent or independent event. Okay, so here, okay, the task is to quote the formula, know the relation for probability of A union B, which is what you have, the general formula, which is what you have here. Okay, now if you come to A, for mutually exclusive events, we know that the probability of A intersection B will always be equal to what? 0. Okay, so take note. So it means now the A union B formula here will become probability of A union B is equal to P of A plus P of B, because this will give you 0. Okay, at that point, you can see that you've been given, okay, P of A union B to be this. You substitute P of A to be X and P of B to be what you have here, 0.35. So after substitution, you just solve for X, that's all. And you draw your conclusion. Please take note. You cannot conclude with P of A. You were not asked to find P of A, though P of A is the same as X. But remember, the question said find X. So it means your conclusion must always be in terms of X, not any other, okay, parameters. Okay, so take note. So here, X will be equal to 0.83 minus 0.35, which will give you exactly what you have here. So at this point, you draw your conclusion. And some of you calculated you had X to be equal to a number which was greater than 1. Remember, X is representing the probability of an event. And I've told you that probability of an event cannot exceed 1. It cannot go below 0. So at that point, you should have known, okay, that your value here is wrong. So let me go back and check, unless you don't care at all. But remember, I told you, you can get your probability question, the answers wrong, but get it wrong honorably. And I told you that if your answer is wrong and your answer is within the allowed interval for probability, 0 and 1, 0 and 1 inclusive, you should know probability of any event must be between 0 and 1, with 0 inclusive, 1 inclusive. So immediately you find any probability and it goes beyond what? 1, below 0. You should know that that probability that you have there is wrong. So there's something wrong with what I did. Let me go back and check. Okay, so my heart really bled when I saw that, because it gave me the indication that you don't care. Meanwhile, I know you care. Okay, so that would be it for the A. Now, if you come to B, this is the condition. So at a normal circumstance, even with this statement, you could have, you know it in your head. So you could have started with this, part. So you could have written P of A union B is equal to P of A plus P of B, because you know the condition for A. Okay, so it means this is not really necessary. I just wrote it for you to really relate with the solution that we have here. Okay, then again, for independent, P of A intersection B will be equal to P of A times P of B. Okay, so it means in this relation or formula that we have here for the union of A and B, your intersection will now be this. So that's the one reason why you can see P of A union B will now be equal to P of A plus P of B, then minus P of A intersection B is now, you've stated that because the events are independent, it will be the product of the two events. So P of A times P of B. So at this point, you are in a comfortable lead. Okay, just go and substitute all the parameters that you are given. Okay, they are varied. So you know that A union B is 0.83. That is P of A union B. And P of A is X, P of B is 0.35 minus, this will give you P of A, which is X, times what? P of what? B, which is 0.35. Someone can use times. Okay, then I decided to put this in brackets. It implies the same thing. It has the same meaning. It's still multiplying. Okay, it's just because, the X here and the times, if you don't take care. Okay, some of you write your X this way, which I will implore you to. Is this writing the X like the times? The X should always look like this. Okay, your normal X. I guess my point is well made. So at this point, you just carry out your substitution, then perform your algebra. So 0.83 will be equal to X plus 0.35. I'll come and multiply this, which will give me 0.35X. What am I looking for? I'm looking for X. So I collect all the terms in X and all the non-X terms on the other side. So I decided to bring this one here, which will give me 0.83 minus 0.35. So that will give us 0.48 is equal to, then this one will give me X minus 0.35X, and that's the same as 1 minus 0.35, like terms. Okay, so 1 minus 0.35 will give you 0.65. Then you attach your X. Okay, at this point, please take note. You don't divide straight away. Those of you who did that, I'm drawing your attention to that. You write it again before you divide. So I wrote this again before dividing by the 0.65. Okay, and this is where most of you, especially those who did exactly what is here. Okay, when you go to how to conclude here, that's where the problem is. Okay, at this point, you know that when you divide 0.48 by 0.65, you will get X to be equal to decimal. And again, you can't avoid decimal, remember, because I told you that if the probabilities are in decimal, it's most likely your final answers will be in decimal. Okay, or you leave your final answers in decimal, unless otherwise stated. Okay, so at this point, this will give us 0.7, and some other stories. Okay, however, you know that you don't want to write everything. If you want to write everything, you write everything, then what? You end there and draw your conclusion with therefore S is equal to this, and the whole of the results that will come from this. Okay, however, those of us who want to approximate, I've told you your first approximation is 4dp. So when you take it to 4dp, you are going to get 0.7385. Okay, so please take note. In actual fact, the exact value, is a whole lot. So definitely you have to approximate. The exact value of your X will be 0.73846153, a whole lot. Okay, so you know that definitely you cannot write the whole of what you have there. So you have to approximate. However, when you are approximating, the first approximation must be 4dp. okay, before any required approximation or convenient approximation. However, here there is no required approximation, there is no convenient approximation because we are not going to use this x value or this value. So at that point, it goes to reason that it is ideal to conclude with a 4DP. So that's the more reason why I concluded with 4DP. Okay, however, if you wrote this without a 4DP, you'll be marked down. Please take note. If you say this is equal to this, then you are being emphatic that, okay, the S is equal to this result. Meanwhile, S is equal to this and some other stories that you decided not to be interested in, and therefore you truncated. So my point is, anytime you approximate, don't forget to indicate your approximation because the equal to is a very sensitive sign. Take note, anytime you approximate, whether to 1DP, whatever, okay, anytime you approximate, don't forget to indicate your approximation. So you can say that I have put or indicated my approximation in bracket here. So that is what you should always do. Anytime I approximate, I will never forget to indicate my approximation. Okay, so on this note, thank you very much. I've addressed all the major concerns, okay? However, if there are any outstanding issues, just like I said, okay, when you watch the video, okay, like the video, share the video, and you can also pass your comments for any outstanding, okay, stuff that you didn't get, concepts that you didn't get. Okay, on this note, thank you very much, okay, for your time. God bless us all.